So, if you're a homeowner in Brookwood Commons, you've probably seen that giant stack of documents that came with your house, right? They're dense, they're complicated, and let's be honest, they're a little intimidating. But what if we could just translate all of that into a simple, clear owner's manual? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Okay, let's dive right in. We're taking this document, the one with the super long name, the Declaration of Covenants, Conditions and Restrictions, or CCRs, and all the other paperwork, and we're going to turn that legalese into a practical guide for your actual life here. Don't worry, no law degree required.
Here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with the foundational documents of the community. Then we'll figure out who's actually in charge. After that, we'll get into the everyday rules, talk about the money, where it comes from and where it goes, and finally, the most important part, how you can use your voice and your vote.
Let's kick things off with the big picture. See, the community isn't just governed by one random set of rules, but by a hierarchy of 3 really key documents. Understanding how they fit together is step 1.
Here's a really simple way to think about it. The CC&Rs, that's like the community's constitution. It sets out the big, fundamental principles. The bylaws are the operating laws. They spell out how the HOA itself is actually run. And the rules and regs, well, those are the everyday ordinances. You know, like your local pet rules or parking laws.
So, we have this pyramid of rules, but who actually makes sure they're followed? Who makes the day-to-day calls? Let's peel back the curtain and see who runs the show.
Okay, so the association itself is made up of 2 types of members. Class A members, that's you, the owners. Then you have Class B, which is the developer. And this distinction is super important, especially early on, because it all comes down to who has the voting control.
This timeline is absolutely key. It shows the exact triggers for when control flips from the developer over to the homeowners. This developer control period, as it's called, ends the moment one of these 3 things happens. Either every single lot is sold, the developer just decides to hand over the reins, or we hit that final deadline of December 31, 2037.
And once that developer control period is over, the power shifts to us. And our governance is handled by a board of directors. We're talking about a group of at least 3 of your fellow neighbors, elected by you to manage everything from the budget to making sure the rules are followed. They really become the day-to-day leaders of our community.
All right, let's get practical. Let's talk about the stuff that actually affects you day in and day out. This next part is all about the everyday rules.
First up, cars. To keep things from getting too crowded, the rules say a maximum of 3 permanent vehicles per home. Your main spots are your garage and your driveway. The whole idea is to keep the common parking areas free for guests and visitors. Makes sense, right?
And now for our furry, 4-legged residents. For all the pet owners out there, this number is for you. To make sure everyone's comfortable and safe, the community rules limit each home to 2 household pets.
And besides the number of pets, there's also a size limit to think about. Each pet needs to be under 75 pounds. Oh, and there's an important exception for certified seeing eye dogs, of course.
You know, this rule about trash cans is a perfect example of how specific things can get. It might seem like a small detail, but it's all part of the big picture of keeping the community looking sharp and protecting everyone's property values. So, what happens when you get an idea? You want to put your own personal touch on the outside of your home, maybe add a fence or change a light fixture. Well, you can't just fire up the power tools.
There's a formal process you gotta follow. And as you can see, it starts with submitting your plans for review. The huge takeaway here is that you absolutely must get written approval before a single nail gets hammered. This whole process is designed to make sure all the changes fit the beautiful, consistent look of our community.
Now for everyone's favorite topic. Money. Let's talk about how all of this gets paid for. This next part is about where the money comes from and where it all goes.
Ever wonder where your monthly HOA fees or assessments actually go? Well, here's the breakdown. They cover all those shared expenses, everything from landscaping and mowing the common areas to big-ticket items like painting and roof maintenance. It even covers insurance and professional management.
And, when rules are broken, there have to be consequences. This table gives you a really clear snapshot. For most things, you're going to get a written notice first. It's not a gotcha system. But after that, the fines kick in, and they do go up for repeat offenses.
Okay, this brings us to what I think is the most empowering part of this whole discussion. How you, as a homeowner, can actually get involved and help shape the future of Brookwood Commons.
This number right here, 25%.
This is the single most important number when it comes to making official decisions as a community. But what does it actually mean?
It represents what's called a quorum. Basically, for any official meeting where a vote is going to happen, you need at least a quarter of all homeowners to be there, either in person or by proxy. If you don't hit that 25% mark, no official business can happen. Your participation literally makes the whole process work. And the best part is you don't even have to physically be at the meeting to have your voice heard. You can show up in person, sure, but you can also use a proxy. That's just a simple, written document that lets someone else vote for you. It's a really flexible system that's designed to make it easy for everyone to participate.
So, the big takeaway here is this. As a homeowner, you have some serious rights. You can vote for the board, you can go to meetings, you can look at the financial books, you can even get enough of your neighbors together to call your own special meeting. You truly have the power to be an active, informed part of Brookwood Commons.
So, at the end of the day, all these documents, the CC&Rs, the bylaws, the rules, they aren't just about restrictions. They're the framework for how we all live together in this community. They create a balance between our individual freedom and the collective good. The real question is, where do you think that balance should be?